Bonjour, my beautiful people. How are you doing? This is Lya Pouleyy, your wellness creative coach. As you know, I help you finding the light inside and around you through creative activities. So today we're going to talk about my driving force. I have a strong driving force, which is hip hop culture. Hip hop music, hip hop dance, hip hop art, hip hop DJing, hip hop beatboxing, hip hop graffiti, hip hop solidarity, hip hop love, hip hop culture, just in general. So let me tell you a little bit about my vision of hip hop culture. Hip hop has been in my life for as far as I remember. I was born in hip hop culture. So I'm an 80s baby, a mid 80s baby. I grew up in a project in Paris, and hip hop has always been there for me. And the funny thing is that a lot of people have this image of hip hop, something very negative, violent, and sad and depressing, and like very negative connotation. But to me, as funny as it sounds, hip hop has always been a sign of excellence and respect. Hip hop has always been my way to go through, to want to move on, to want to do better, to be a better person because of the pace, the upbeat, the values, the words, the boom baps, the community that I had over there. It was just, I don't know, hip hop really, it sounds very cliche, but hip hop literally saved my life, saved my perspectives of things. Hip hop really helped me being a better person because hip hop was a real sign of true excellence, seriously. I know I sound like naive, but let me give you an example. I remember when I was around 14 years old, one of my mentors, I think I had like two mentors, and we were crossing the street, and I was about to cross the street outside the pedestrian walk, and he stopped me and he was like, "Whoa, you can't do that." He grabbed me and he's like, "Let's cross the street on the pedestrian walk." And I was like, "Why? There is no car." And he told me, if you are meticulous in hip hop, you have to be meticulous in your life because hip hop is a sign of discipline, self-confidence, hard work, and excellence. And trust me, guys, I would just never forget about these words. Since that day, I've been crossing. I wouldn't say, no, I would lie if I say. I think until I moved to New York, I was mostly crossing on the pedestrian walk. But since I moved to New York, I have to admit that I didn't respect that rule anymore. Thinking about that, I'm gonna realign with that. So that's what hip hop means to me, you know? And also I remember, during my 20s, early 20s, I was partying every night. But the way I was partying, and it's no judgment here, it's just the way I was partying. Always like big sweaters, big t-shirts, baggy clothes, baggy pants, sneakers, and we were dancing all night, sweating our life off. Like, sometimes we were just tired with school, work, whatever it was, but we were sweating all the time, dancing all the time. And when we weren't partying, it happens sometimes, we were always partying, but also every night we were practicing dance, like every single night. In France, we were dancing in the malls at night when all the stores were closed, by the train stations. That was just like the best. And when we were going to clubs, when some people, they were like, "Oh, do you want a drink? Do you want this? Do you want that?" We were like, "Oh my God, no, I don't drink. I'm hip hop. I don't smoke. I'm hip hop. I don't eat crap. I'm hip hop. I don't do this. I don't do that. I'm hip hop. Oh my God, I respect myself. I'm hip hop." So, and it's so funny because it might sound crazy for you guys because unfortunately, this is not the image of the hip hop industry nowadays, or even maybe back then. I don't even know. I said I don't even know, because I was in my la la land, in my world with my people. So we're so much into the hip-hop culture, but since the hip-hop culture doesn't come from France, but we embraced it, we took it as if we created it, we cherished it, we loved it, we respected it. So because we respected it, we also respected ourselves. Does that make sense to you? And also, I was born and raised in France, but I have a Cameroonian African background. My mom is from Cameroon, and she raised me she was mixing, between the Cameroonian values, the French values, and she was doing her best. So you add that to the hip-hop culture, and in Africa, especially Central Africa, we are very, very, very proud people. I wouldn't say your image counts. Yeah, your image counts, what people think about you counts, but not in the way that, you worry about what people think. It's mostly about, you have to be your own role model. You have to be a role model for your little brothers, little sisters, nephews, nieces, your neighbors, people who live with you, for your circle, and you have to make your parents proud. So your image, your attitude, the way you behave, your personalities, your skills, everything, it's super important, because it's not just about you. It's first of all about you, but it's also about the world you're living in, and you have to be the best representation of yourself. So to me, the best way to be a role model, what drove me energetically, was hip-hop. Hip-hop really helped me being the best version of myself, to be a good friend, a good daughter, a good sister, a good aunt, a good student, a good entrepreneur, a good everything. And I got that thanks to hip-hop. And one day I just opened my eyes and I was like, oh my god, damn, obviously we don't all have the same vision of hip-hop. And that's so funny, because even the artists that I listen to, for a lot of them, they don't look like having some self-discipline or to be some role models or anything. But I just didn't care, because I just love the energy of hip-hop culture. And I'm really talking about hip-hop culture, not just rap music or dance or this or that, the whole hip-hop culture. Because hip-hop really taught me unity, respect, love, of course fun, hard work, because when you want to excel in hip-hop, and when I say in hip-hop, it can be, as I said, rapping, dancing, DJing, graffitiing. I don't know if it's really English to say graffitiing, beatboxing. You have to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice, like any other discipline in the world. I know that. But also in hip-hop, since this is a culture from the street, we didn't really have the appropriate rooms or studios back then to practice. So we were practicing the best way we could, wherever we could practice, And if you have to repeat 10 times the waves, you repeat 10 times the waves. If you have to repeat 10 times like you're popping, you repeat 10 times or 20 times or millions of times you're popping. If you have to practice your graffiti letterings, hundreds of times you do it. As a rapper, if you have to write your rhymes or like find your flow, you do it until you're like kind of satisfied. So that's this kind of self-discipline and discipline that hip-hop taught me. And since you have to be disciplined and focused, and and life goes on, so you have school, you have work, you have family responsibilities, you have friends, you have whatever, you have to make time to practice to make it perfect. Hip-hop also taught me how to be consistent. Hip-hop told me how to help the other, and other people helped me as well. People also told me to be fair play, because I wasn't a fair play person. I don't like to lose. But yeah, with hip-hop, I learned that. And since it's also like the most international culture in this world, thanks to hip-hop, you meet new people, you discover different culture, you happen to travel a lot, and you meet a lot of people who come to your country, to your city, just to practice. So you learn tolerance, you learn a lot of different things. You exchange, you discover, you appreciate, you embrace. That's just so beautiful. Hip-hop also told me how to understand my body, how to be comfortable with my body, because I told you I also do modeling, and a lot of photographers always told me it's so much more easier to work with dancers because we know our bodies, we know how we look when we do this or that pose or movement or positions, because we have to practice to have a good aesthetic. Making sense, right? So, and also, like as a hip-hop dancer or just dancer in general, like when you dance, sometimes you might fall, so you have to learn how to fall, how not to fall most of the time. Or if you dance with somebody, you have to be aware of the space, or even if you dance alone, but when you dance in a room, crowded, whatever, you have to learn not to hurt anybody, not to fall on anybody. So you also develop some reflex. So when I walk down the street, for example, I'm always super alert, because some people, most of the time, they're in their world, in their zone, or they're on the phone, or they're like, oh, whatever they're doing. They don't pay attention to you. They don't pay attention to who they have around. It's just like themselves and just them walking. So I'm always really good at not bumping on anybody, I'm not hurting, I'm not falling on anybody. And also, if I'm at a workspace, anywhere, I know how to manage my space, because as a dancer, I know what my body space is in the entire space. And it's funny, I talk about that to a friend, because we talk about the fact that people, when they are in their car, they are aware of the space of their car, so they know how to drive properly. They kind of know, not all the time, but let's say they know how to drive properly, not to touch the other car, not to be too close to the other car, because they are aware of the shape and of the car and how big the car is. And it's just crazy that people are just unable to do that for their own body. Like, they have no consciousness about their body in the space. That's just too crazy for me. But that's one of the things that hip-hop dance taught me. And hip-hop taught me to know my limit, to be super confident, because you cannot be like shy. Yeah, you can be shy, but also if you're a dancer, if you have to do a representation, if you're a dancer, a rapper, like whatever, if you have to be in front of the public, you have to get rid of your shyness. Or if you're shy, you have to be able to manage it. So hip-hop really taught me how to be super confident. And also as a dance instructor, hip-hop dance instructor, I was doing more than hip-hop dance, but let's talk about just hip-hop. Hip-hop dance instructor, at first, I was teaching kids, so it was easier. But when you teach to adults, they don't want you to flick. They need to have a strong, a confident instructor. Like, they pay you to be their kind of role model during the class time. So you have to be confident. Hip-hop also taught me about group cohesion, because my very first hip-hop dance group, I only had one. I remember we were synchronizing our schedule. We were dedicating so much time to rehearsal, to train, to practice. We were going to different places, different events, to perform, to battle, to visit, to have fun, to everything. And actually, I met my best friend through hip-hop culture. I don't even know what else to say. So it can be from teenagehood or childhood, from the class I've been teaching, from the events I went to. I met amazing people thanks to hip-hop culture. And I'm so thankful for that. So me being hip-hop doesn't mean that I'm always doing this and dress up like that. Oh yes, I do it most of the time. Not most of the time, but I still do it. Trust me, guys, I still do it. But it's not about how I dress, where I go, what I listen to. It's about the energy. Like, I can listen to some very soft, cool energy, but I still have the hip-hop driving force. I can be in the most glamorous photo shoot or on set being dressed very girly, feminine, or whatever. I'm always having my hip-hop driving force. That's my fuel, that's my gas, that's my energy, that's my love, that's really my everything. And this is why hip-hop energy is so important for me. And that's something that I want to share with you in the Kamga Ngnie Method. So it doesn't mean that we're going to listen to some Busta Rhymes every day. I would love that. It means that no matter what we do, I will always be there for you as your coach with a hip-hop energy, because it's such a strong and pure and beautiful and amazing and sharing and respectful and considering energy. So that's what I'm going to give to you. No matter what we listen to, no matter how I'm dressed, no matter what I'm going to say to you, it will always come from here, from my heart. And if it comes from my heart, it comes from hip-hop. So I hope you understand the importance of hip-hop in the Kamga Ngnie Method. Why am I always like this? Oh my God, I'm always like this? Yes. Well, so I hope you understand the importance of hip-hop energy in the Kamga Ngnie Method. That's just a part of me. That's a part of who I am. And I hope it's going to resonate to you. So that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. And I hope you love my microphone. Let me know if you like. I just love having this mic because I feel like so professional, so cool. I almost feel like a singer. And I'm definitely not. But yeah, let me know what you think. Please don't forget to comment, to subscribe, to follow me on Instagram, Lya Pouleyy. You can email me, contact@lyapouleyy.com. And if you have any question about the Kamga Ngnie Method, feel free to reach. So I'm seeing you for the next video. Take care of yourself, and don't forget, your body is your temple. Don't forget to take care of your body. Don't forget to take care of your mind. Don't forget to take care of your soul. Don't forget to take care of your emotions. Don't forget to take care of yourself and of your beloved one. That's all for me. Have a good one. Take care.